Hi, it's Winnie Michelle Thompson, and today we're talking about how to overcome the fear of failure, haters, competition, lack of gear and time, and how to get rid of mom guilt, and probably the biggest enemy of all, that mean girl or mean guy that's in your head, the biggest enemy of all, so that you can start your YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to introduce you to someone. You probably know someone very much like this in your life. You may know quite a group of people like this in your life. I'm just going to call her B for short. Here she is. She's very rude. I tell you, I'm trying to save you from embarrassment. There is not enough of Peter Thomas Roth wrinkle serum to keep you from looking like a dried up prune. Yeah, I know you stayed out of the sun this summer, but you started a little late with watching that skin. You're paying for it now. You need 10 ring lights. Can you afford one? I don't know. I'm trying to help you here. Don't embarrass yourself. Wow. Do you guys know anybody like that? It's hard enough to get started, but when you think other people are going to treat you like that, like you have no reason even to build a YouTube channel, that's enough to put fear into anyone. And I will tell you, you may not hear it from the people closest to you, but eventually you're going to get it in the hater comments. They like to show up, you know. And I've just got one thing to say about that. People are going to hate regardless. Please don't let anyone like that get in your way. You wouldn't listen to someone saying something to you about raising your child or doing your job or anything like that face to face. You wouldn't take their advice or let them say something to steal your dreams or mess up your time with your kids or mess up your work while you're on the job. So why would we let people that leave comments on our YouTube channel? Most of them are insecure themselves, and they are not making YouTube videos themselves for a reason. They like to jump out and just pounce. And I tell you what, before I even thought about making a YouTube channel, I could not believe some of the comments that I would see in very experienced YouTube creators' panels of comments. And I would see some of them get handled. It depends on the creator and their personality. I know some people are like, ignore them. I don't care. Sometimes they say, well, maybe they have some critiques that I could look at to improve myself. Maybe so. But don't let anyone like that destroy your dream of starting a YouTube channel if that is what you want to do. You probably are in front of the camera because something was really placed on your heart that you needed to get out to other people. and you are unique. You're not like anyone else in the world. People say YouTube is saturated. It may be saturated in a lot of niches. Nix is so funny. You'll hear everybody pronouncing it differently, even on YouTube. There's not even a common way for the creators themselves to agree upon how to pronounce that word. We'll say niche, okay? But no, those kind of people, they do not deserve the time in your head. You are doing so much to be brave and turn that camera on and hit record. So that's my reply to that. Just listen to her. She gets better. You know the camera adds 10 pounds. Let me just stop you, okay? Because if you start recording, you being short, really it's going to look like you weigh 15 or 20 pounds more. Why don't you just save yourself the time and the embarrassment and just glue the butter and the mac and cheese, and the honey buns. Oh, well, you know, they don't go there where you need them. Those people have big boobies. Honey, socks are in your future. Wow, I didn't see anywhere in the YouTube startup guidelines that you had to have big boobies. Good grief. But I tell you what, so many people worry about what they look like before they will get in front of the camera. Well, I'll start that YouTube channel when I lose 10 more pounds, or after a boob job, or, you know, one excuse after another. Really, those are excuses. And I can't ever tell that the camera puts 10 to 15 extra pounds on anyone. And if they do, well, who cares? It's what you have to say that is important. I can guarantee you, probably out of the majority of all the people that I love to watch the most, they are not considered what America has deemed beautiful, attractive, handsome. You know, a lot of men have lost their hair. They don't always look dressed beautifully. Some people just come home right from work after being a mechanic and working on people's cars all day long, and they still have oil on their shirt and whatnot. But you know what? They take that time that they do have before, you know, it gets into dinner time and spending time with their family, and go ahead and do a video. That's what you need to worry about. Yeah, it's nice to look your best, but sometimes you can't always do that. And don't wait on losing 10, 20, whatever pounds, or big boobies. Good grief. I only had those when I was pregnant and breastfeeding. And that was one of the ways I knew I was always pregnant. I said that the titty fairy had come to visit me. I mean, I could feel it. I was hurting, and like, boom, I'd just get bigger and bigger. And then, of course, by the time it was time to breastfeed. But you know what? As they started weaning, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And I used to joke and say, hey, when I turn 40, as like a present to myself, I'm going to get a boob job. No, it was pretty much a joke because I knew I wouldn't do it. But what did happen was I had a pregnancy. My youngest at that time was going on 10, which is what my new youngest is going on 11 now. So I did get a temporary boob job for a while, very natural. But no, you don't have to be stick thin or curvy or whatever the look is that's trending. It seems to change daily. You know, I remember when I was growing up, models and everyone on TV were expected to be like anorexic practically. And then there was the super thin supermodels. And then now, you know, hey, you need big lips and that requires Botox, and you need something up here and something back there, especially if you're gonna like pose with a glass of wine on your bottom or whatever. Everybody is different. We all look different. And if I had to take the time to put socks in the front of my bra and make it look natural, I would never have the time to hit record. Don't listen to anybody that criticizes you about your appearance. What's important is that you are creating content. You are doing what you want to do. Don't let that, I just call that just plain ignorance when people make mean comments about how you look and that this and that, a hair is out of place. Oh, you don't know how to do your makeup. Well, come on over and do my makeup then before my videos start. Guys, you don't need all that. And you will see in some of my videos very, very soon. If you haven't seen, I'm like in my workout clothes, no makeup, hair and pigtails. You're going to see that a lot. I really don't like taking the time to put on makeup. I will do it if I have the time. If I don't, I don't. And a lot of times I wear plain t-shirts and jeans. Of course, you never really see what's below. But in my workout videos, you'll see me in my yoga clothes and you'll see me with sweat and I'm out of breath while I'm trying to count out loud. That's okay. It really is. People are just mean. Just let that go over your head. All right, I think Miss B has more to say. Can't wait. Time. It takes time to do this. You've got to research your subjects. You've got to make sure you have quality videos that people actually want to watch. Nobody wants to watch anything like, what your morning routine is, which, let me remind you, your morning routine is flip-flop from everybody else with you being a night nurse. You work all night, you come home, and you still got to homeschool. School starts back again. You're going to have to help your daughter with the homeschooling pretty much all during the day. You're not getting any sleep as it is. That's why you got these circles and bags. Depending on what day it is, you got the bags. Sometimes it looks sunken in. Honey, you don't sleep. You just maybe catch a nap here and there. You're going to be falling asleep at work. will you hear the alarm to wake you up and take a shower so that you can get to work on time? You just do not have the time to do this. Da 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 da. Ding! Computers were just finally coming out like big time. People talking about surfing the web when you're 24 and you're already out of college at that point. Surfing the web. Remember how long it took to get that big, huge, clunky computer? And all it ever did when you did try to use AOL, I think that's the only thing you mastered. Getting into your email address and then finally getting on AOL. Your friends told you you needed to be on MySpace. You didn't know what MySpace was. You had no idea how to put a page together. You had to have someone that was 20 years younger than you practically build your little MySpace. How are you going to build this? What do you know about building YouTube? And if you do save the money for a camera, like on a phone, just, a decent enough phone, are you going to know how to use it? So a big learning curve, honey. When are you going to do that? You're already multitasking. Gosh, the people that do good on YouTube, they have a following already. That people know them, or hey, people actually like them. There are so many haters out there. I can see it now. I don't like your accent. Look at those wrinkles. You have nothing you can teach me. Oh, you're a nurse? Well, I don't care anything about that. What else do you know anything about that you can teach? Come on. And we know you do not have a lot of confidence. I just know I'm that inner you. I'm that mean girl that lives in your head, but I'm telling you the truth. Somebody's got to. All right, I beat her to the punch. All right, so we got the makeup and all that out of the way. The ring light, the phone. Seriously, guys, you do not have to have fear of not having all the fancy dancy equipment. Hardly anybody starts out with that. And if they do, it's because they've had jobs or they were photography majors in school, or if they had time in front of the camera, any kind of experience or practice. They were in photojournalism. Maybe they've been, in front of the camera for other types of jobs. It's okay. We all pretty much start at zero. And it's okay. It really is. One thing that she brought up is the mom guilt thing. And, his dad guilt thing too. Because we already feel bad about all the time that we spend away from the kids because we're working and we're exhausted. And a lot of times we're sleeping while they're awake and vice versa. And the shipping back and forth to a babysitter so they can get them to school and whatnot. Now, it's actually very interesting because when the quarantine began, all of a sudden, everyone was homeschooling, whether they wanted to or not, whether they had had experience with it or not. You had no choice. Some people that were hooked up with public schools, they had to learn how to do all these different apps at home, and the teachers were having to learn it unless they were of younger generation like my older kids, who grew up basically knowing how to do everything. I've had this phone for a good while, and I'm still finding out functions that, oh wow, it does that. That's awesome. You can definitely get by with your phone. You can get by with natural light. You don't have to be all beautiful and gorgeous. You don't have to have all that special equipment. One thing I would suggest is that you do have good audio, and you can do that with a simple lavalier mic. Really, on Amazon, they're under $20, and you can probably even get a better deal. Black Friday's coming up. But other than that, you don't need all that. And there are people on YouTube that have big, successful channels that are still doing everything on their phone. I think that's absolutely awesome. And I love it when those people come on and share their tips. And that is something that I promised that I would do all along. Whenever I see, oh wow, I made some kind of crazy mistake or whatever, I usually, if you have watched my videos, I'll leave it in there. Like me smacking the gum in my mouth and forgetting to take it out before I recorded. And it wasn't anything I could recreate because my daughter and I were camping and it was a special night. And, with work and everything, it's hard to find the time to put aside for camping. So I always point out my mistakes. I'm like, yeah, make sure you don't have gum in your mouth. I'll always put it on the screen. That's okay. Learn by my mistakes so that you don't have to learn them yourself and spend hours researching and then figure it out later. I'd rather put it right out there and you see it and you make a mental note. And by all means, if you can be nice, unlike Miss B, you can give me some suggestions. I would love that. Saves me time. If you are a professional with makeup, please tell me how to apply it. Anything, but yeah, be nice, have courtesy. All humans just need loving kindness and courtesy. But that mom guilt thing, this year, we didn't even know what the situation was going to be like with COVID by the time we were having to register for school again. And so we went ahead and decided to do homeschooling for this year. And I have to say that even though I'm up at night, we've got it set up to where she gets everything taken care of within 3 to 4 hours. Some days is less, because when they're at school, they're in large groups and they're having to take time for bathroom breaks and going out to do this and that and waiting in line. Zoe, she just knocks out her stuff and gets it done, turned in right then and there, sends it, boom, on the computer. She's a whiz with all the apps. She may not get really good cooked meals all the time, but I have always been a busy mom since I started with number one. It's difficult, especially as you are doing work and things with church and things with your friends, and people may need help, and most people love to help if they can. It may not always be with money, but a cooked meal, or somebody's had a baby and you want to bring them some frozen meals and something fresh that they can eat that night. I mean, there's always things like that that are going on in our schedules. There is something about mom guilt in particular, and I don't know if men get it like women do, but if you're working outside of the home, you're criticized. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're criticized. It doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be people that like you. There's going to be people that dislike you. You can't please everyone, and your channel's not going to be for everyone. So just go ahead and get a tough skin, and just know that right ahead of time. And unless you have some kind of big following from another platform, or you're known locally or something like that, expect your YouTube growth to be slow. And there is nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly normal. That's how the majority of people start out. Very few people are blessed with those viral videos. I mean, it happens from time to time, but I am actually excited that I have the time to grow and learn and get a lot of mistakes out of the way while there's not a lot of people watching. That is a huge benefit that people just don't think about. And if you're all of a sudden handle this huge audience and you don't even know your way around YouTube and YouTube Studio and making your thumbnails and all the other things that you find out that you need to do to try to make the best videos that you can so that they're searchable, relatable, people actually want to watch the content of your videos. I think it's nice to have the gum smacking early on. Whew, caught that. Won't do that again. Doesn't mean that I won't have to take frequent drinks and continue to put Vaseline on my teeth. That's a good tip from models. Keep from sticking. Mine does it. But yeah. And I love every single person that has subscribed. Thank you very much for loving me during my dorky times. And I've heard from bigger creators, they say there's always fear. It doesn't get any easier. The beginning things get easier, and they don't have the fear of recording anymore or worrying so much about what people are saying or this and that. It's just as your business grows, there's new fears, there's new challenges. So just keep that in mind. And in the meantime, thank you for each one of you subscribing. I think she has one more thing to say. What's gonna happen when nobody is looking at your video? You probably will have to pay your relatives to even look at it, and then pay them extra to hit follow. You know, there's only a few that like you anyway. But, oh, approval addicted. You know, the haters are just gonna like rake you over the coals. Oh, maybe you got the inner gumption to keep it going. But how long is it gonna take to go from 1 subscriber. In your case, you'll be lucky to get 2 subscribers. So you got this book, The YouTube Secrets. Well, that's a start. And I see, okay. You've made it to page 37. You don't have time to read it. These are experts. They've been on YouTube practically since it began. That's why they're so good. That's why they have a following. Sweetie, 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 think clearly. You have got to learn how to make thumbnails. That requires an app that you got to download on your phone. And, there's the YouTube Studio and your keyword search and how to make a banner. Just when you tried to put business cards together on Canva, it took you 12 hours one night just to do that. You were pulling your hair out. And you're thinking you're gonna do all the stuff you need for a YouTube channel? All these apps cost money. You're gonna be just stumbling all over your words. Okay. I'm sorry I have to be so cruel to you, but it is time for you to just give up this little pipe dream of yours. And you've been telling people for months, that you're working on getting a YouTube channel started. I think people gave up on you like people usually get them up like in a couple of days. Well, that's because they know technology. We know. You had some excuses. They were pretty good excuses. I mean, there was the holidays and traveling to see your adult kids and then planning for a wedding that was just in February. You almost broke your arm. You're doing everything, do it yourself to save money, doing everything with your arm in a sling. And then you're moving and packing from your place to your fiance's place. You're still pulling stuff out of boxes. Yes, don't do it. Don't embarrass yourself. You know, I'm telling you the truth. Just think of me as future you coming back in time to warn you. Don't build YouTube. It is so dumb to do it. So many people are on there. They have much more interesting things to say. They're funny and educated. They have the money for the equipment. They hire people to outsource everything they don't want to do. You're going to be doing everything by yourself. Think about that. And when are you going to do it? Of course, you're going to be trying to do it when you're supposed to be sleeping. You've been married since February. You and your husband have different work hours. You barely see one another as it is. So, do you think he's really going to be supportive of you doing something else? You're already burning your candle at both ends. Have I told you enough yet? Plus, probably you're going to embarrass not only yourself, but your poor husband and your kids and your family. Yeah, there'll be a few weirdos that'll like you. You're weird and you attract weird people. Even the weirdos. Yep. All right. Go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it. But don't say, I didn't say, I told you so. You'll probably fail if you do try. Just giving you my little 2 cents worth. Well, guys, I think I've had enough of her. And I really hope that you don't have people surrounding you that are like that. A piranha, basically just wanting to eat you up and leave your bones. But the sad thing is that person typically lives in our head. That's the type of criticism that we get the most. We have that mean girl, that mean guy live in our head, especially when we are down about something already. Maybe things have been a little difficult with COVID. We always have different situations in our lives. Time is always going to be a factor, but you know what? We make time for the things that we want to do. And you may have to hustle right now. You may have to lose some sleep. But be consistent. Keep reaching out there. Keep looking for your people, your tribe. You will not fail if you keep trying. And nobody's asking anyone to create a video every single day. A lot of the big YouTubers create one a week, and they say that's what works best. And they should know. The great thing about some of these YouTubers that have been on the platform basically since it began, they didn't have all of these tutorials from other creators. They had to learn as they went along. They had no idea how to figure out what would be the best thing for them to talk about, how to even go into that. If you can afford a coach, they are great with helping you go through all the different things. Be selective, though, when you're searching for a coach, because some will just charge you an extraordinary amount of money, and you can get that same information for free right off a Google search and YouTube search in videos. There are some excellent ones, and I have been very fortunate to have some great coaches, and I always have them listed in my description with their links. But even the ones I haven't paid, like I love Erin on Demand. I was watching one of her videos earlier today. She made a video about being scared to make a YouTube channel over a year ago. That YouTube video is still ranked, like right there on the first page as you put in the search. And she gives great advice, and I highly recommend her. And I'll probably list her up in one of my cards for you to visit her channel, because I have learned so much from her. It is a great video, and it's not long, and she just puts it all right out there for you. And she even directs you to some motivation by Oprah Winfrey. And, you know, we love some Oprah for sure. And you're only gonna fail if you give up. Don't give up. Persevere. It may take a while to get to 50 subscribers, 100 subscribers, but just keep getting better as you go along. But I would suggest, yes, it's important to look at the analytics and know what content everyone is looking at. You may not know what your niche is to begin with. And I have a lot of different things that I'm covering on my channel, but it all does go under your physical, spiritual, mental, nutritional, working out. I mean, it all, I may streamline it after a while, but that's the great thing about being a new content creator is you get to find out what exactly out of all the things that you do know something about, and you do know a lot about a lot of things. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't. But what you need to do is not worry about those numbers so much. And yeah, it's hard not to do and be like, wow, I really thought that video would do great. Or I thought I'd be growing a little faster by now. Concentrate on what people are looking at on your content. Look at their comments. Talk to them. Engage with them. Get to know your viewers. Get to know what their pain points are. See how you can help them. And before you know it, you will have everything niched down. And so many people say later, all these years later, I'm not even doing what I started out doing. It's all part of learning. Guys, I hope you gained some kind of valuable content from this and had a laugh or two. We always have to be able to laugh at ourselves first. Don't let anything drag you down, especially ugly, mean, hurtful comments. I don't care who they are. Someone countries away or someone living in your house. You know that you are special, unique, and you have a story. Your story matters. If you don't put your story out there, who knows how many people may not benefit from it. And I know there's women that want to hear about menopause and all the different things like the huge weight gain. I put on 58 pounds during the end of menopause. Like the night sweats and all that weren't bad enough. 58 pounds. And it doesn't come off like pregnancy weight. That's hard enough to get off. But that will be my next video. I cannot wait for you guys to see that one. I love you all. God bless you. And please don't give up on YouTube if you want to be a YouTube creator. We have the information there. It's right there in Google and YouTube search. And so many videos, so many different people. If there's one creator that you don't connect with, there are plenty others that you can watch and learn from. God bless your today and all your tomorrows. And I'll be looking forward to seeing all of you next time. Much love. It's time to go out and eat with my family. Have a great one.